What up, and welcome back to Pinoy News. So let's start today off with the word paradigm, right? What is a paradigm? I think it's important that we all understand this, right? A paradigm is what you think about something before you think about it. Like the moment you stand here and start having a conversation about things, it's your basic understanding of shit. But the problem is that paradigms are built on premises that might be completely faulty as a whole. So, with that being said, let's get to the point of today's video, right? I apologize. I have to make these things on my phone, right? You know what I mean? As a whole, right? Because I think it's important that we stand here. Like, I'll be real, man. I don't even have Facebook. I don't know why they keep sending me shit. Okay, let's start here, right? Because this is where I began, this whole mentality of things, right? I've been standing here having a lot of conversations about why it is where we are, how we are, and how we got to where we are, right? We'll make that make sense later on. But let's talk about this, right? So this is immigration waves into the United States since 1820, right? Each time what we did was we had a period where you have like a pause in between, like individuals coming into the US, or you had a massive expansion, right? Where, individuals went from like having just the East Coast states to the West Coast states to the territory Louisiana purchased and the territories in the middle, right? And then, go to territories on the West Coast and then the states, right? You know what I'm saying? And with that, what ended up happening was, right, I got a gift for this, right? Because like this is some basic stuff, right? As you go through your period of time, understanding like how all this operated, right? What you start to understand is that the United States had periods of allowing individuals to settle in, right? And this caused in Europe first. This is crazy, right? In Europe first, it caused Germany in 1889 to pass the first Social Security program, right? Which allowed old people to be able to survive because all the young people came over to the first world, right? Now, so what we ended up having happen as a result of all this type of stuff, right? We're gonna take you to like wages and things of this nature, right? What we ended up having happen was we ended up having individuals like leave the traditional sense of what we understood as, normal, right? For like a long, long period of time, which was grandma, grandpa, you know what I'm saying? Maybe great grandpa, great grandma, aunts, uncles, kids living in the same house together, right? Mom, dad, living in the house, in one house together. To all of a sudden, you got to the point of where you have this problem of where households used to be like six people, and now they're only two or two and a half on average, right? So these are things that we don't really have conversations about because it's not something that we really even have a capability of discussing. Because right now we're having a problem where we're looking at the aging and retirement of one of the largest generations of people who have ever, well, the largest generation of people who have ever existed, the baby boomers, right? And we're all going like, there's no way we're making it through this because like, yo, we can't afford it. We don't know what the hell to do. But we already have a model for this to begin with, right? There's already a model for all these things. But we don't know how to get back there because, again, we get back to the paradigm, right? Because our paradigm has been for 100 years where you had all these settlers coming out, all these people coming out of Europe, moving to the United States, and then the United States expanding to the West Coast. And then you had the urbanization where you had the massive growth of cities during industrialization to where, things are now kind of solidified. Like if you're not part of the, professional managerial class who moves around from city to city as a whole, right? Legit, you have this problem where, you probably aren't going to leave your neck of the woods anytime soon, right? So with that being said, everybody's kind of settled in. And we're at the level of where it doesn't make sense to continue with the status quo of where we are with our immigration anymore. And granted, the immigration coming in from Mexico doesn't make any sense, right? And the labor force participation is dropping because the boomers are leaving, right, as a whole. And a lot of individuals are shacking up with the boomers and living there forever, but it's causing other problems, right? For instance, like, there are more virgins than there's ever been in the history of like recorded time, right? Yeah, it's kind of a bit of a problem. And technology's, making it way worse, right? As a whole, 27% of males are in general just not having any fucking sex at all, right? We have a population that is massively obese, right? That is, above 30%, above 35% at this point, right? Of people who are obese. I apologize for the graph being so dark, right? Giant jump in fucking suicide rates. People are working longer and more hours than they ever did before, right? And we really don't know what to do about any of these type of things, right? As a whole. So we're not 100% sure of exactly what we're supposed to be doing. I'll be honest, I don't remember what this graph is for. I really don't. I'm sorry about that. I should remember why I grabbed this graph. I don't know. Anyway, right. So the premise is this, right? We need to change what our paradigm is of being human beings and get back to an understanding of like economics is not everything. And we need to stop trying to solve our social problems with economic motherfucking means because it's destroying us. This is productivity versus wages. Bit of an issue. You know what I'm saying? In case you ain't noticed, it kind of matches up with the immigration, right? See, immigration, right? Wages, stagweight, fuck productivity, immigration, productivity, immigration, right? Productivity, immigration. You see how that works, right? Basically, they push down wages by bringing in massive amounts of people. We must have a conversation about what is important to us as people, as animals, as human beings, as a whole, right? This is not something that will be easily done. And this is not something that a lot of people are going to want to agree with because we have a lot of individuals in this country, who go, well, I paid into Social Security. Why should I not, get what I paid in out? And then you have a lot of people in this country who say, well, we're individuals. What are you, a socialist? I'm like, no, I'm a humanist. I like people, and I like people to be able to survive and be okay as a whole. And there's better ways of doing this. And it's not a bad thing to take a step backwards after it no longer makes sense to continue doing things the way we were doing them, because these massive migration waves are no longer happening, right? And the fact that like there's no more room to sit here and be able to spread out due to the fact that even if you occupy the empty space, there's nothing there to occupy your time. There's no jobs, there's no careers, there's no path forward in most of these empty spaces that are left open. The reason why people, all congregate to cities because that's where jobs are and the industry is, right? And if, I understand like flocking to these places, but flocking to the middle of nowhere doesn't make any sense unless you have like a planned community where you have the ability to provide and eat and feed yourselves, and you don't, right? And even then, property taxes fuck all that up. We must have a conversation about what it is that we're talking about as a whole. And we need to have it very soon. I think we're ready at this point to talk about this. So I'm going to get this conversation started. Let me know what you think in the comment section. It's Tom Pease. Holla at your boy. Peace be like one.